Welcome back, viewers. Glad we got this stuck in here because true to form, chucking it down with rain. So this is video 11, I think. What I'm on with now, it's going to be a struggle for you, I'm afraid, because things aren't so good in here for room wise. I don't want to get you too close because you go out of focus. So what I've done is that full panel, it was too much. It was going to go right up there, even though I've got two areas of issue there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out, and well, I'll show you when I get to it how I'm going to treat that. But rather than have to go right up there with that full panel, I'll go a different route. But I'll show you that. What I'm going to do is cut that out and just put two bits in. So this is how that's going to fit. What I'm going to do, it's difficult to hold this with one hand and camera with other. I'm going to scribe a line where this is going to meet. We're going to cut that back and we're going to butt that up. Somebody did message me and they were asking me about my welding. Now them plates I did there and there, I did only plug weld them. I plug welded them, but any what were chassis welds, like that one main chassis welds, and underneath I have seam welded that, so that's really sturdy. But all this ain't load bearing, so they've just been plug welded. So I hope that clears a few things up, because people were worried about integrity at welds with it only being plug welded. But what's bodywork, what's not load bearing, that just gets plug welded. But any chassis work, what's going to carry any sort of weight, that gets seam welded. So right, I'm going to crack on with this, and it's a nightmare for space down here, but I'll come back to you when I've got that sorted out. Right, I've made a start on making these panels fit before they get typed in. It'll not look like I've done everything looks exactly the same, but what I've done is I've trimmed that panel down. I've took all the top part off that panel. I've laid it over the top where it's going to fit. I just clamped it on with G-clamps, and then I've cut all the way across to make that a fit. Now I'll just tack that on with clamps. We're at an awful angle here, but I'm knackered for space in here. I'm covered in grinding dust because bloody grinding dust everywhere, because to make it fit I've had to hack away with grinder. Getting way too old for this shit. I say that every time I buy a new project. I say, I'm too old for this. Right. Here's my clamp. Mole grips, that's what they call these. Chuffing memory's going, I'm not kidding. panels. Right. So that's a fit now. Before I even think about welding this up, I'm going to get all these panels fitted in like that one. It's only just a rough fit, but like I've showed you on the other side, they've got to match up, which they do. They're absolutely spot on, and that side as well. So now we've got them lined up, we can start working on this side. Now what I've done here, I've got same to do here. What I've already done, this bottom sill, I don't know if you're too close there, this bottom sill goes there, and then there's a repair panel. Where's my hand? There it is. There's a bottom sill goes there, with a return, with a flange, and then this top part of this. What I've done is I've already spot welded them together, so that makes that easier. Both of these panels, obviously, but putting them both together should make it easier. And as you see already, it's starting to look somewhat like a van again. Come here, bugger. So I'm not going all the way up with this, because where this panel actually joins, to repair it in the middle of that swage, it'd be a nightmare. So if you just look down there, you can see where I've still left that about an inch hanging down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just below that, cut through them both, and then panels will be a perfect match. But what I've got to do first, I've got to get this flange to tuck inside there, and I've got to punch some oils in here, because I've got to go on inside and then spot weld that to this. And then at this side, we've got to do the same with that. We've got to trim that down. Not pointing in the right place. We've got to cut that out, put no one in. I'm actually beginning to think that's a bit of overkill fitting that. Oh no, that's in a bad way down there. Right, so that new panel will go in. Once that's in, we can do this bit with fuel filler necking. So I'll come back to you once I've made this somewhat like a fit. I'll just hold that in with clamps, and then we'll be making some headway. Once I've got that bit done, I shall weld all that up, then put that in. I did make a bit of a mistake. I'd forgot that this step needs a bit of work. I should have done that. I should have repaired that before I brought it in. I'll have a go at repairing it with door on, but it's a bit in way. But I'll see what story is. I've just seen that you can see some daylight under there, which is not the good times. So I'll see how to go on with that, but that's a week away, that, before I get, because I'm only doing a couple of hours after work. By the time I've done work, I'm buggered. Right, so that's where we've got these panels. It's really like a big Meccano. Once you get this far, it's pretty straightforward. Oh, I forgot to mention this panel. This panel what goes there, I've got to tighten that in, but it needs a bit of dressing because that bottom flange too close. That bottom flange is just a bit hard, so I'm going to have to dress this top edge to lift that panel up so that it meets. But with it only being a small panel, it's a lot easier. Hardest bit is getting big panels in, so I'll leave it there for now, and I'll bring you back once we've got them all fitted in. Not welded in, just clamped in. See you shortly. Right, I've more or less got all these panels sorted out now. All I've got left to do is cut across there. I don't know if you can see, I've put a pencil line, but I'll run grinder across there, and then that's all good to go. What I've managed to do, every swage mark is lined up. There, that bottom, they all line up. Bit of jigglery pokery to knock that in, to line that up. This was the worst bit. Oh, this panel here, because you've got to line that bottom bit up there, then there's that swage there, so they're absolutely spot on. But when them two are lined up, there's a discrepancy there, so that's going to take some right jiggery pokery to get that to fit. But you can't have it both ways. If I line that up, these two don't line it. Sorry, I'm a bit close. So I've got a choice. I either have them two misaligned, which looks a cow, or that. So that is one I'm going to have to manipulate. So I'm going to weld them two up and have a play about with that. So to sum up, sorry I'm jiggling you about a bit. This panel were a reasonable fit. It wanted a bit of fettling, but not a lot. That's two panels. That's a sill panel, and that's a repair piece for that. They're an excellent fit, them. And this one, I knew when I bought it, it was a cheap and nasty panel, but at the time I bought it, it was the only one I could get hold of. And it's not a good fit. There's that infill piece there. That was a good fit. I think that come from Schofield's, that, and that's a really good fit. That one. But that's shite. That's horrendous. So because I'm struggling for space, I'm going to cut that last I'm going to put that last cut in there so that sits flush like that one, and I'll stick a couple of tacks in, and we'll see what that looks like, and I'll bring you back when I've done that. See you shortly. Right, I've had wheel of death out, and I've just fetched oak paint off there, paint and filler, all the way along there. I've gone across there and all. So we've got something to weld to. I'm gonna give that a quick whip or, because that's what we're going to be spot welding to, and yeah, it should be ready to go. This is panel what's going on. Now I'm going to make some oils in here. I'll be using to, can't remember if that needs doing now. I think it does. I'll be using this air punch. Just stick that on like that. Give it a press. And that's it. Gives you an oil to weld through. Saves a lot of buggering about. That's all there is to it. Pretty straightforward. Right, I'll fetch you back when I've tacked this panel in. Right viewers, we're just about ready to start tacking these panels in now. All new panels what's going in. They've all had a coat of zinc primer. Well, they've had 2 coats actually. There's a bit in the middle what's shiny there, what's not got any on. That's because that's where we'll be welding. That's one of the other panels. And this is one I'm actually dreading fitting. But all coated in what do you call it, primer. Inside there has had another dose. I've got a torch somewhere. Where's that? Oh, it's here, look. So all in there's had another dose. First hole to fill in is that one there. So I'll get that one filled in, and then it's just tacking panels on. That's all been coated, and this notorious shelf what water sits on and rots out, that's had primer. So only one I forgot to do, there's always one in there. I'll do that now. I'll give that one a coat of primer, and I'm not fitting that bit last panel I fit anyway, so that'll have time to dry before so this weekend is going to be a proper weldathon, and hopefully by end of Sunday night I'd like to think all the welding will be done, and then it's just a case of starting to prep bodywork. What I'm going to do is, once I've done all welding, I'm going to pop these windows out while it's in here, because all these rubbers have perished. They're cracked they've shrunk with sun, and this is what happens. Actually this one ain't a bad one, but yeah, I'm not happy with it. There's a blister of rust there, so yeah, that just I were in two minds as to whether to take that one out, but there's a couple of blisters I'm not happy with, so that window's going to come out, and then two on other side. Rubber on other side, that must have been facing sun most of its life, because rubber's in a rectangle on that side. So we'll whip them all out while it's in here, and get some, well, we'll prep up bodywork first, and then we'll stick some new rubbers in, get some ordered, because you'd think it'd be a universal rubber that, but it ain't. They're slightly different, and if you get wrong in, you'll never get the buggers to fit right again. So once I've got a sample of that out, I can order right stuff. Right, I'll fetch your bike once I've started stitching some metal in. See you shortly. Right viewers, we're getting down this welding. I've managed to get that bike panel. It's now fully welded in. I've moved on to, I've not got that under panel in yet. That's going to be last thing, because that's a right cow that don't fit at all. That I'm tacked in here, spot welded all the way along bottom. If when I go to edit this video it's out of focus, I apologise. It's just because I've got no width to the garage, you can't really see what I'm doing. The idea with this is you tack, then you keep working your way backwards and forwards, because if you do it all in one run it just warps and you finish up with a panel like that. So I'll let you have 5 minutes watching me do a few tacks, then I'll switch it off, because it'll get a bit tedious. But yeah, we're making slow progress. Right, where's my mask? Alexa, play Smooth FM.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
That's because you're shit. Alexa, shuffle AC/DC.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Oh, I just thought I'd put a bit of music on for you to listen to while I'm welding. And how the bloody thing's acting up. I can't get a copyright strike because they don't pay me anymore, so that's why there's no. I've stopped putting adverts in my videos because I hate watching videos when there's adverts in, so I don't see why you should have to put up with them watching me doing my bit. Alexa, play Smooth FM. Alexa, ignore me like they normally does. Right, forget it. keep checking in your roll that we've not gone, because metal moves all the time, so you have to keep checking, otherwise you finish up with it all wavy. So if you keep giving it a check every now and again, every couple of welds, it keeps you somewhere like right. Right viewers, I take it you get gist of that. Keep going backwards and forwards, filling gap in, so it's all welded in. Right, I'm going to carry on with this, see if I can get Alexa to listen to me. Alexa, play Smooth FM.
Smooth Derby from Global Player.
Marvellous, she decides to work now I'm switching her on. Right, see you shortly, when hopefully I've got these bits done. See you in a bit. Right viewers, I'm going to call this an end to video 11. I've had enough of welding this weekend, but everything's in. I've lost my glasses. Can't see shit with that. Here we go. Right. Everything's in. Worst two panels to fit. This one, I got it to fit everywhere, but that lip where it joints wheel arch, that was an absolute nightmare. So I've had a load of hammer and dollying to get that to look somewhat like, but it now follows proper profile, what it should. But God, what a nightmare that were. But it's all in now. So these are all fully welded, they're not just tight. That panel fitted alright. I made a bit of a boo-boo on that one. I welded it up on inside, and I'd set this on outside so that I'd put a piece of wood up so it couldn't push out, but when I climbed into the van to weld inside, my piece of wood dropped. This popped out slightly. Nobody will know, but if you just look there, it is ever so slightly proud. I'm a bit gutted about that. I could build it up with filler, but I'm not going to do. I'll leave it as it is. It is what it is. End of the day, it's nearly a 40-year-old van. But yeah, everything's coming up nice now. Get that fuel pipe back in. Probably can't see much under here, but that's all spot welded in all the way along there. That's seam welded. It's all absolutely rock solid. This wheel arch, that weren't too much of a bind. Where's my torch? Don't tell me I've lost that bugger now. Oh, I'm not kidding. Go and find my torch. Yeah, so I forgot to put that. I'm going to put a plate in there. So that gaping oil there, got to put a plate in there. Plenty of seam sealer. But all that up there, which I keep pointing out, that just rots out for England, that. But it's all in now, and it's all welded. That's all welded in. That panel's in. That were an absolute cow to fit, that. I'm not kidding. I did, in fact, I swore for 20 minutes and never used the same word twice. because I could not get that swage line there to line up. So I've had to re-roll edge of that panel. I've had to put it in vice, and I've had to roll top of that panel over to pull top of panel down, so that it lifted that up, so that lined up. So that were all fun and games, but it's in. That's all re-welded up. What I drilled spot welds out of there, and I found out I didn't need to, so I've re-spot welded them. And yeah, there were a few other little places what I thought I was going to have to cut out, but they had gone through in holes, but I've managed to just put a couple of tacks in, and they haven't come out too bad. My lamp's gone off now. They haven't come out too bad, so what's left to weld? That hole I've just shown you on inner wheel arch, that one's welding up, and inside there, that step needs replacing. Or I'm going to have a go at repairing it. If I can't repair it, I'll buy a step. They only I think they're only 30 quid for a step, but I'll have a go at repairing it first. If that fails, I'll buy a new one. So most of the donkey work is nearly over. Next weekend you should see that I'll get all welding finished, and make a start on prepping bodywork for paint. I did say I was going to pop these windows out while it's undercover. Marvellous, I've got this undercover, and weather's been great this weekend. It's been red hot, chuffing marvellous. So yeah, I'm going to pop these windows out because, like I pointed out, we've got a few scabs, and get some new window rubbers ordered. Right then, thanks for sticking with me so far. I know it's been a long haul, this job, but you can't rattle these buses out in a few weeks. There's too many water traps in them, and they just rot for England. But everything's repairable. Alt panels are available to buy. Some are cheap, some are not so cheap, but when this is all done and dusted, this bus, I reckon it'll have cost me about 2.5 grand, which to go out and buy one of these up and running with decent bodywork and a diesel with a 5-speed gearbox, you won't get one for 2.5 grand. But I've been watching my budget, and that's what it's looking like costing me. Right, see you next week. What we're going to be in video 12 next week. See you later. Thanks for sticking with me. Laters.